Hi, Mr. Kelly. This is David Engell, quiz number 15. And first question is golf shop, 8 iron, blah, blah, blah. Velocity of 28 meters per second at 70 degrees. How high will it rise before striking the netting, which hangs 4.2 meters from the mat? So, a couple things that you're given. 4.2 meters is your change in the x. 28 is your initial velocity in the x. Initial velocity. Oh, no, and you know that the acceleration in the y is going to be negative 9.8. So the first thing you can find is your time. To find the time, do the delta s divided by the velocity, which is going to give you 0.15 seconds for that, and that's going to be the same in both dimensions. Then, after that, you can also find your velocity initial and your y by drawing a simple triangle, putting the values in. So you have 28 along here. This theta is 70 degrees, and by taking 28 sine theta, you will find that the initial velocity is going to be 20 meters per second. The next thing to do is multiply 0.15, which is your time, by your acceleration to find your change in velocity, and that's going to give you 1.47, and 20 minus 1.47 is going to be 18.53 with your final velocity. You average those two together to get 19.2, and once you have your 19.2, you multiply that by your time, because that's how fast it's traveling for that length of time, and that will give you 2.88 meters, and that is how many meters it will rise in the y dimension before it strikes the net. The next question is, what is the general equation for this question? And that's going to be your delta s in your y dimension equals the time times the velocity. And to break those down, you know that this is how you found your time, taking your change in position over change in velocity, or over velocity, and then your average velocity is going to be your initial velocity right there, and then add to that how you found your final velocity, which is the initial velocity plus the acceleration times the time, all over 2, and that's going to give you the average velocity, and that will give you the delta sy. The bonus for this implies the, I guess, simple now theorem that a squared plus b squared plus c squared equals d squared. So for the jet traveling 60, 40, and 10, you get the square root of 3,600 plus 1,600 plus 100, and if you square root all that, you will get a velocity, the speed of the plane, at 72.8, and that is quiz number 15.